Hello? 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 Hey, there you are. Welcome back. It's the Minutes with Milo show. Let's see. There we are. We're on YouTube. Good deal. Cut that off because it sucks down the web speed. Thursday nights. Welcome back. It's getting cool outside. Thought I'd throw on the toboggan, skull cap. It always doesn't sit on my head straight. Is that? Oh, that feels weird, man. Yeah, it's on there. Keeping my head warm. All right. So, what made me think of tonight's show? Gravity. And no, a walnut didn't fall out of the tree, knock me on the head, and make me think of tonight's show. But gravity did pull all them big old walnuts out of the tree into my yard and make it hard to walk, to mow, to play with the dogs, all that kind of stuff. So, I thought I would look into a little bit of things, not so much about how walnuts are grown or any of that kind of stuff, but maybe why they come in uh, larger crops some years, other years not. Uh, if you have them, you know you can uh, not produce. What am I thinking of? Process. You can process them yourself, but I've often wondered how commercial walnut producers do it. You know, in this day and time, have really specialized machines. Then I started thinking, I wonder if there was a way to, you know, how did the old timers process walnuts? Did they have like a, a sweeping machine? Did they use, a rake? How did they do it? Because I bet you, this year you could probably make some money if you had like a lawnmower style pickup machine that you could go around to people's homes and yards and rake up or collect the walnuts without them having to do it by hand. Now, there's thousands upon thousands of yard mowing services. People don't want to mow the yard. People don't want to pick up their own walnuts either. Because, let's see, on my property, just right off the top of my head, I think I've got 4 trees. One of them is the problem child that's right on the edge of a big part of the yard that I mow. Okay? So one of them is, well, it's not really a problem, but one of them is in the part of the field that I bush hog. And the ground is covered with those things, covered with them. Now, in years past, it hadn't been a big deal. And I can't remember paying attention to whether or not, it's this year, that year, this year, that year, how often you get a large crop of walnuts. But we're going to look at that. And of course, we're going to, going to ask AI some things, but we're also going to look at probably a video or something, some images, because, reading about things is okay, but seeing pictures, that's where it's at. You can't just read the articles, you've got to have the pictures. So, let's see what we've got. Let's get over here, bring that up. Where do I want to start? Oh yeah, and by the way, my thumbnail image was created with Gemini. I know. Take a wild guess, right? That's nothing new. Okay. Well, why didn't that Why didn't that show that? All right, people. I know. I should have had this set up before I got on here. But I didn't, and I don't. Here we go. Because I like to make you wait for the suspense. There we go. Woohoo! All right. So this is what I don't like about the modern way of doing things. Is most everything that's on a tree that's harvested, they shake the poor tree to make it let go of its fruit, its nuts, its berries, whatever it might be. So, I don't know. To me, the tree knows when to let go of things. So to me, let's just use walnuts because that's what we're talking about. It hangs on the tree, it hangs on the tree, it hangs on the tree, and then something happens. Miraculous stuff happens. And the tree goes, this one's done, and drops it. But the other one next to it's still hanging there. All right? So the tree doesn't let go of them all at once. Why? My guess is they're not all ready at once. But now, you come in there with this huge, grabs a hold of the trunk and just goes, brrr, and shakes the tree so violently that it just goes, ah, and drops them all at once. So are they all ready? Probably not. Would they get bigger? Maybe. You know what I mean? You're shaking off the bigger ones, the ones that are just about ready to fall on their own, plus the smaller ones that are going to be maybe another week, before they dropped off there. So that's one thing I kind of question about shaking the tree to make it let go of that. The other things make sense. So I did ask Gemini, what is the state that produces the most walnuts? And could you guess what state it is? What's the larger producer of most fruits and vegetables? California. You got it. California. Why? Because it's got the perfect climate. So when things are grown commercially to produce a product, especially an orchard, even apple, oranges, whatever it might be, they're always planted for the best, harvesting. So they're all lined up. They're all certain spaced. They're pretty close, I bet, to all the same size because they're probably planted in sections, like Christmas tree farms, right? I've been going to North Carolina a lot, picking up the grandbaby. I've been looking at all the Christmas tree, farms. And, they've got some that are small, and they're getting bigger, and, but they're planted in sections. When one section's harvested, they plant another thing, another row. But that's harvesting the tree. So with fruit-bearing trees, nut-bearing trees, you plant them, they grow, they start producing, they grow a little bigger, they produce. You don't harvest the tree, so the tree's always there. In order to increase your farm, you've got to increase the size, the acreage, because you just don't cut them down and start another walnut tree. But one of the things it says that they do before they shake the tree to give up its fruit, we're going to call walnuts a fruit, to give up its nuts, to lose its nuts, the orchard floor is typically swept clean first. Swept clean first. Now that's crazy. I mean, I know it's not like broom swept, but I have a hard time picturing how clean this can be. All right, so here we have a nut shaker. a walnut shaker, I assume. It says California walnut harvest in beautiful photos. How beautiful can these machines be? Let's see what it shows. Welcome to the blog. Okay. Jill Weisenberger. This was October the 25th, 2016. So, right on schedule. Here we go. Check out, let's see, let's look at, I think that's probably Jill. Hi, Jill. Uh, she believes in simple changes in health habits can bring you life-changing rewards. Life rewarding. Duh. Okay, so there it is. Check that out. Now, I'm frugal, right? Everybody knows that if you watched any of these shows. And I'm typically kind of lazy. Now, would I like to have an orchard of something? Yeah. Would I grow walnuts? No. I'd like to have an orchard of pawpaws. All right. So, why? I love me some pawpaws. But I won't say they're finicky because I don't, I like them. I'll try to harvest them. I'll try to get them, but I pick them up off the ground and they may fall at, midnight, hit the ground, lay there, go to work the next day, come back 2 or 3 days later, looking around for some, because, you look at the trees, you see them. And some, raccoon or possum's gotten it, taken a couple of bites out of it and thrown it down because they're not really a pawpaw fan. And it's ruined. So, I'd like to have an orchard of pawpaws. But when I go back to being lazy, you'd have to plant all these things, and I can't draw a straight line or cut a straight line with a saw. I could maybe get close to that. But I'd like to have it because it's really cool. And the floors are all, the ground's all nice and flat, and they're all nice and lined. There's no grass growing into there. So around here, that would be mud. That's probably Sandy, California. So she was indeed lucky to have experienced the California walnut harvest at the expense of the California Walnut Commission. They got something for everything. Huh. I never knew that walnuts were covered with a green hull. Huh? When the nut splits, the walnuts are ready for harvest. Some drop to the ground on their own. Well, yeah. I think they all drop on the ground. Around here. All right. So Garthog has added to his name. Welcome to the chat. I know. Love me some pawpaws too. I found, just a little sidebar, I found like 5 near where I work. I thought, I'm going to take them home. They weren't quite ripe. And what I do? I forgot about them. I had them at work, forgot about them. Come back, the next week after the weekend, and they were overripe. Ticked me off. But the shop area smelled really good, man. It smelled like pawpaws. But, I don't look at the walnuts in the trees, but I think my trees drop them before they split on the leaf, on the branch. All right, so here is the shaker. So the claw grabs the trunk and shakes the living daylights out of the tree so it rains walnuts. I just don't see how that's very healthy for the trees, right? And here it is, shaking walnuts and leaves and everything off. The Bartons shake each tree twice, about 12 days apart. Noisy process, a bit scary. All right, so maybe California walnuts are different than these black walnuts and stuff that we have around here. But they never, I mean, this doesn't look like a walnut to me. This looks like a pecan or something. I mean, the black walnuts that I have, man, they're gnarly on the outside. Really gnarly on the outside. Not anything like this. I wonder what kind of walnut that is. I mean, those are the kind you see, you buy them in a store in a pack. But that's not the way ours look. And my gosh, look at the meat in them things. Oh, that ain't what I see. Right around here. Okay, so let's see, where are we? He splits the walnut shell in half, shows us two perfect hearts. You know the walnuts are good for the heart, right? How cool is that? It's also good for the stain. So you think we have English walnut. You think that's an English walnut. That's what you're saying. So what'd you do to your name? R something the Garthog 309. Next time we're together, you're gonna have to tell me how to say that. Nar I don't know. It's all run together. Narthel, Garnothi, Garthog? I don't know. I'm even more confused now. Narfel. How come it starts with a G? Is the G silent? Like knife? Okay. Narfel. Narfel the Garthog? Or is it now the G silent with that too? Narfel the Arthhawk. So you think this is an English walnut. All right, the sweeper pushes the walnuts into rows to be collected and transferred to the hulling and drying facility. So it talks about the sweeper. So if we look at this machine here, I think that's what it's talking about. I haven't seen the movie. I used to watch the Coneheads on Saturday Night Live. Are they the same characters? So this to me is like a street sweeper, I guess. See, it's even got sweepers here in the back. All right, so yeah, the walnuts trees are in this nice row right here. But it, you shake the tree here and it falls around everywhere. So that means you'd have to drive down this alley, come back on this other side alley. Then at some point you got to go through trees this way. And it doesn't look like they're really that far apart here. Now from here to here is a pretty big distance, but this way it doesn't look too far. But you know what I'm saying, in order to get up to drive over them and sweep them into a row, you got to go down that way, get them, then you have to come back this way and get them. Then you have to go side to side because in between these trees right here where my pointer is, there's walnuts there. There's walnuts there. So it just shakes it and see all around and those things are falling all around. And then they sweep it up, and here's the thing that's like those Garthog is the beast in the movie where convicts go to fight. I gotta see this movie. So this conveyor belt thing looks like almost any ground level harvester thing. It sweeps up onto the track, and then the track runs back and drops them into this uh, trailer. Call it a trailer. All right. Then here they are, being, I guess, sorted in a way. It says the sweepers push the walnuts into rows to be collected and transferred to a hulling and drying facility. So these look like they're already hulled. Today's sophisticated machinery can hull and load 7,000 pounds of walnuts in 12 minutes. Back in the day, it took 2 days to do the same work. Wow. How many walnuts do these people grow, dude? That's a lot. This is a very small view of the processing plant. The machinery for cleaning, sorting, packaging, and boxing is very sophisticated. Here, workers are separating walnuts by color, size, and more. What few bad walnuts are found are used as bird feed. Interesting. Interesting. I hope they got a good eye for color. Here are friends and colleagues of the 2016 California Walnut Harvest Tour. Well, howdy, friends and colleagues. All right, so that is a nice orchard. So that's the modern way. I mean, it said, used to it would take 2 days to process those things. So when I asked if, a driving range, right? Let's look at that. Let's look at this room. I asked it if you could use a golf ball picking up machine to harvest I don't know what they call that. On a hockey rink, they have the Zamboni, right? So here, this is what I'm thinking, except in a larger scale. I think this is what I want. Now, here's the first problem I see. All right, and I know this is not what this was designed for. It's designed to pick up golf balls. The grass, the yard, this is, clean, cut, level, and real short. My yard is kind of semi-flat, but I don't cut the grass a 1/4 inch high. My grass, like, whatever, might be 3 inches high. Not sure why my name is showing up like that. Well, the @ symbol, isn't that because you have a YouTube channel and that's your handle for the channel? Or are you not sure why there's a G in the front of it? So, back to this little device here. I don't know if I could use that to roll along. Okay, we'll be here. And pick up the walnuts instead of, making my wife do it. I don't make her do it. She gets out there all on her own and she does real well. And I think I've talked about this on the show in the past. I think I talked about it last time. Did I not? where I helped my grandfather sweep walnuts. He would take a push broom, flip it upside down, and push along the ground and roll the walnuts in like he was, sweeping the floor or something. Now, he wouldn't rake them like that. He would push them. I think he called it rolling walnuts because he would just start pushing them, and we'd all roll together and get them in a line, and then go along with a pickup truck and a coal shovel and scoop them up and throw in the back of the pickup truck. And then we'd drive the pickup truck back over the hill, back down a little hill, open the tailgate and shove them out and go get another load. I mean, they had just one walnut tree and it produced thousands and thousands of walnuts. It was huge. It still is huge. But I wonder if you could use that to to get up walnuts off the ground. I don't know why you might not be able to make that work. Check that thing out. I mean, the spacing would probably have to be a little wider, because golf balls are very uniform. So if these little wheels, these little ribs were a little bit pliable, not like, kind of like rubber. So then if it came across one that was larger, it would, kind of splay out and still pick it up. And I'm sure what it is that thing rolls around. It probably has a finger. Ooh, like I've got a finger. And then as the thing goes around, it rakes, the finger sticks in there and plops it off. Right? Oh, look at the happy puppy. How did we go from golf ball picker-uppers to happy puppies? Yeah, these are all machines that they spit the golf balls out and you got to pay. There's a happy puppy. All right. Now there's a, what? Get back there. Oh, look at this deal here. Shoot yeah, man. Rangemaster Golf. Modular golf ball collector. And you can add on to it. That's pretty sweet. Well, now, where did it go? Ball management. Oh, dude, this is all in Spanish. That's weird. That's in Spanish, but the menu items aren't in Spanish. All right, here's single dual hand collector. Huh. All right. Kind of liking these. Look at that. Yeah, you put them into a milk crate. Oh, sorry. Can't really see that, can you? Where'd it go? Oh, there we go. See, that would be cool. Wonder how it gets them into the thing there. Anywho. Test. Did you try changing your name or something to try to make it look different? I never noticed that you had a 309 at the end either. So you can get it in a single or dual basket. There's your dual basket. Here. Refresh and log in. Didn't change anything. Did not. Huh. Wow, look at this guy. This got a set up here. There's your setup for walnut collection. See, and if you could get this to work, if you could just get these simple ones to work. Now, I'm not talking about the little wire basket one. Of course, that wouldn't be too bad either. Here's a dude. Is he mowing or collecting balls? I think he's mowing. Yeah, this guy's mowing. Now, this one. What happened? Come on, internet. There you go. Good buddy. Holy bejeebies. That thing's $132. No, I don't want you to email me that. $132 for that. Huh. See, I think you'd have to have something that had a bigger, I won't say mesh, the ribbing would have to be wider. I don't think you'd ever get a walnut hull into that thing. I just don't think it'd pick it up. But see, that's what I'd like to try to do, is just come up with something simple like that so you can just roll over your yard like a grass collector thing. Walnuts, grass collectors have like broom and they spin and they sweep the grass that's just laying on top into a bag. But see, you'd have to have something with walnuts, that would be stiffer. You couldn't just use a broom. You'd have to have some kind of metal fingers to rake them, spin it and rake it. But see, I was thinking of something that was like, that went in this way, just, riding on the top of the ground, and they would hit the walnuts and make it roll up into it. That's why I don't invent those things, because that probably would not work at all. Let's see, this looks like it might be a video. Is it? Uh-oh. Let's pause it for a minute. Let me get you lined up. Oh, I said pause it for a minute. Don't you talk back. All right. So this is Chandler Orchard. Is that the one that we just looked at? Where the lady went on the tour? Yeah? All right, let's see what it says. Chandler Orchard. They've had 1.3 thousand views. This was 6 years ago. They have 471 subscribers. Alright, so I think they're sweeping the floor clean here first. Whip them up into the road. There we go. Whip them in the road. One thing's really moving. Doesn't swing very far. I thought it was chucking them around over the back of the all the dust. You better have a heart attack. Well, there you have it. Interesting. There you have it. Hell, I mean, that wasn't a big surprise. Oh, check out this guy. All right, got sidetracked. I'm sitting here talking about how they're harvested and everything. One of the things I was talking about is why some years you get a lot, some years you don't. let's get back to that original question. Let me get down here. Okay. So it's Gemini says yes. Large walnut crops are often cyclic in nature, particularly exhibiting a pattern known as the alternate bearing and biennial bearing. Alternate bearing is a common phenomenon in many fruit and nut trees, including walnuts. It means the tree tends to produce a very heavy crop one year, the on year. Doesn't help when I don't do that. And then a significantly lighter crop the next year is off year. Now I notice this a lot in pawpaws. There's times when a pawpaw tree has, they don't produce a lot of fruit. If you have a pawpaw tree, in my book, that produces 10 or 15 good pawpaws, in a season, that's a pretty good haul. And then you have the same tree might produce one or two the next year or the year after that or whatever. It's just really, a hit or miss with those things. And I don't know, the rhyme and the reason for it in the pawpaw business because I just don't pay up. I like them. I have some in my woods, but I don't spend, every waking moment looking at them because the ones I have in my woods, some of them are only knee high or thigh high now. They're not, I've only got one pawpaw tree that's tall enough and old enough to produce fruit. So I don't know how long they take, but I've only got one that's big enough to do. And I think it's the only one I've seen, but there's so many of them right now. There's so many small pawpaw trees. There has to be a bigger tree somewhere that I don't know about. And it's not on my property or I would know about it. All right, so the mechanism. Heavy crop year, the on year, the tree puts an enormous amount of energy and nutrients in developing and maturing a large number of nuts. This heavy reproductive effort depletes the tree's internal carbohydrate and nutrient reserves. On the off year, because the tree's reserves are severely drained, it does not have enough energy left to properly develop and set a full set of new flower buds for the following year. It instead focuses on replenishing its reserves, resulting in a much smaller crop. Some other contributing factors are climate and weather. Irregular bearing can also be influenced by unpredictable weather. A late spring frost, unusually dry summer, or heavy rain during the critical pollination period can drastically reduce the crop that year, regardless of the tree's natural cycle. Some walnut cultivators have a much stronger tendency towards alternate bearing than others. Black walnut trees specifically have been noted to have large crops irregularly, sometimes every 2 out of 5 years, with production peaking around 30 years of age. So here's something that we need to look at that I haven't looked at. Let's look at types of walnuts. And we will get images for this. Let's see what that is. Can you see that? All right. So let's see if we can get that bigger. This is Alonzo Wilson's blog about the different types of walnuts. All right. Okay. Black walnut, two main types, black walnut and English Persian walnut. are commonly grown in the United States. Black walnut tree is a walnut tree native to North America, and it's known for its deep, dark wood and delicious nuts. Walnut trees are any species of tree in the plant genus juglans, and different types of walnuts. So it doesn't show me what they are. See, I don't know. I don't know. Those are really dried out. Maybe mine will look like that. My wife got two that she's drying out just to, mess with. We've never intentionally harvested walnuts. The squirrels have. Squirrels carry them things around when they're still green, man. It's crazy. See, this is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for one that shows. I'm looking for one that shows them and just gives you the name of them, dude. Come on. All right. I don't like this site. Let's pick us a different site. What do we got here? Oh, security. No. Don't mess with that. We don't want no stupid stuff like that. What's this? Well, it still doesn't give you just a side-by-side comparison of what they look like. You're making me crazy, man. Come on. Come on. What does it take? What's it take just to get a picture of a... You're killing me. Ooh, a brain. They call it a heart. Amber high. But it's a brain, man. Look at that. A brain. I just don't think anybody's going to give us just a simple picture of what walnut. All right, so here's 19 different walnut trees. 19. Nineteen types of walnut trees. Butternut. Butternut walnut tree, also known as white walnut, is a cherished species native to North America known for its distinctive tropical-like appearance and the rich buttery flavor of the nuts. This slow-growing tree thrives in rich, well-drained soil and full sunlight. Black walnut. Here we go. Black walnut tree. Majestic hardwood tree native to North America, highly valued for its deep, dark, and fine-grained timber, as well as its nutritious, flavorful nuts. It's a large tree, often reaching heights of over 60 feet. I bet my grandfather's tree's that big, with a broad canopy that can spread between 50 and 80 feet in width. Caution is advised when planting black walnut trees near other plants as they produce a chemical called jugalone, which can be toxic to many species of vegetation, inhibiting their growth. In the fall, the tree's foliage transitions to a striking yellow before shedding. Its nuts encased in a thick green husk ripen around October and must be harvested promptly to avoid mold, as the husks begin to break down and can spoil the nuts if left too long on the ground. Despite this, black walnut tree remains a valuable asset for both its wood and its nuts. Japanese walnut, nope. Little walnut, nope. Arizona black walnut, that ain't even a walnut. Northern California black walnut. Southern California black walnut. Aden walnut. That looks like chicken eggs. Chicken eggs. English walnut. They said they're showing the Manchurian walnut. That is like deformed. Chandler. I can't say that. Pedro. Laura. partly, Venor, Apollo, and there you have it. Still not very insightful. Still not very insightful. All right, so collecting black walnuts. Walnuts begin late September to early October. Harvest black walnuts as soon as the outer husk softens, but is still green. The best quality nut meat is light in color and milder in flavor. If you can leave a finger depression in the husk, the nut is mature. Most people wait until nuts start to drop before gathering. However, mature nuts can be shaken from the tree limbs or dislodged with a long pole. Wear gloves when handling walnuts. The outside husk can stain just about anything, but not when they're green. I mean, you can pick up and you can smell the juices in it, but when they're green, it doesn't stain anything. It's when to me, it's when the husk starts to turn brown and get really gooey. That's where you get the walnut stain. So I think Garthok has talked about this, taking walnuts and throwing them out on the driveway, and then you roll over them and then pick the nut out. It says washing is important. Once the husk is off, wash the unshelled nut in a bucket to remove excess juice and debris. Unfilled nuts will float, so you can get rid of those. After washing, the unshelled nuts need to be dried and cured if they aren't going to be cracked right away. To dry, spread out freshly husked and washed nuts in a thin layer in a well-ventilated area out of direct sunlight for several weeks. Once dry, unshelled nuts can be stored in a cool, dry place in mesh bags, burlap sacks, or baskets for up to a year. Which is interesting, but it takes a lot. It talked about one of those. It talks about cracking them. Black walnut has a hard shell, which the handheld nut crackers seldom work on. A hammer or a block of wood, a vise, or a big rock are your best choices. So yeah, probably. So I think my trees are on a 5-year cycle. I think every once in a while, like now, there might be 2 large harvests or large crops in like a 5-year period. Because sometimes there's, it seems just like 10, 11, 12 YouTube's going to get mad at you if you keep changing your name around. Coneheads 309. But it still has the @ symbol on it. So yeah, I mean, there's just some years there's hardly anything. Excuse me. Other years, like now, I mean, some of those things are not baseball sized, but they're huge. I mean, they're just a little smaller than an apple, really, which is crazy. I mean, they're just huge. You know, kind of weird how that works. But yeah. All right. So ta-da! When's that tractor pull thing that you were telling me about? Is that coming up, or did we miss it? I can't even remember how long ago that was. Is it coming up this weekend, or did we miss it? So yeah, well, I knew about the handle. I don't know exactly what role that plays in YouTube, but let's just say you used the Garthok 309 and you didn't select that or didn't make something like that as a handle. Somebody else could pick that as their handle and you would be stuck doing something else. So apparently your handle can be anything. It doesn't have to be related to your account name. It could just be, something else. Like, if your account name is Garthok 309 and your handle you want it to be Coneheads 309, you could do that. But yeah, I took my handle and my YouTube name, I think is really close to the same. My handle might be MwM by itself. I don't know. When it told me that I needed to figure one out, I just went ahead and didn't put any thought into it. I just, well, okay, the name of my channel's this. Let's just do that. Boom, done, got it. And now they stopped sending the email about getting one or doing one or I'm going to lose it or whatever it might be. So I don't know. I can't tell you what its purpose is. Just don't know. All right. So 51 minutes. Didn't learn a lot about black walnuts, except that's what I got in my yard, and there's tons of them now, and it drives my wife nuts. So she gets out there and picks them up and throws them into a pile or into the woods or both. And there you have it. I'd like to have a better way to get them up, but by the time I get something, devise something, work on something, then, we'll be ready for it next year and there'll only be 5 on the ground. That's the way it works. So it's like washing your car. If you want it to rain, go out and wash your car or have your neighbor wash their car. That's the way it works. If you don't want any walnuts, let me invent something or make something to pick up hundreds of them at a time, and then the walnut tree will probably just die and go away. You won't have it anymore. Now it's Garthog B7V. All right, so the V7V, is that supposed to be like a, translated into some type of picture? Like the winking sideways smiley face when you do the semicolon and the parenthesis. It's supposed to be something like that. Or is that just V7V? What about the default ID? What's the story about the tractor pull? Did we miss it? I forgot all about it. Thought you were keeping me abreast of it. Good pull. Dead pull. Dead pull. Good pull. When is it? When's the good pull? I know you sent it to me in a text message. But I've got you right here. I can just ask you. I'm just asking you. When is it? When's it gonna be? You already missed it. If I had a decent lawnmower, we'd take the lawnmower up there and enter it in the lawnmower pool. I bet it wouldn't even. I like having me a lawnmower with a big V8 engine on it. That'd be really cool. I could put a 4-cylinder. I got a 4-cylinder. You could put it on the lawnmower. Okay, so he's broke, so you weren't interested in going, since I know you're going to help support your friend. So you're not going to go now. You're not going to take me. I was really excited about it. I couldn't wait. I mean, I would like to see it. I think it would be cool. but I'd forgot that. And then apparently your dude, no, he blew up on a pool. Send you a video. Did you go? Did you go without me? I don't understand. I'm gonna have to look it up in the text message, aren't I? To see when it was, because you're never never gonna come out and tell me. Woo. Where is it? Woo. There you are. Woo. Come on, phone. What are you doing? Okay, so we missed it. Saturday, October the 18th. What was I doing? Is that when I had my grandbaby? Hmm. No, it was the Saturday after that. So last Saturday. I wasn't really doing anything. That's a good looking truck, though. Good looking truck. All right. Yeah, past Saturday evening. Well, I'm sorry we didn't go. Don't know what I was doing. Nothing exciting, I'm sure. Nothing exciting. All right. Well, Garthog V7B version 7 version. Thanks for coming by. I don't know what happened to Roberto. Maybe he's doing something more interesting, but I can't imagine what that might be. But for everybody that watches it after it's a live show, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, do something like that. Tell your friends and family about the channel. Like, subscribe, turn the little notification belly thing on so you'll know when I'm going to do one, or maybe, I don't know, put out another video. I won't say drop a video. I'm just going to upload it. Upload another video. I don't know. But anyway, appreciate it. Garthog, if you know where he's going to be somewhere, holler at me. Maybe we could go and travel and see a big show. Tractor pull. I've never been to a tractor pull. Been to a monster truck show in the Freedom Hall. Messy. Messy, 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 messy. Dirt covered. You come out of there dirt covered. But anyway, appreciate it. Let me find my button. Stop streaming. There it is. All right. Thanks again. See everybody next Thursday, 9 o'clock. Be here or watch it later. It's up to you. I like